We are go for liftoff in T minus 30.
Hit the record button.
Gosh, that's swell.
Italo Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Italo's Blog Talk Radio Coffee Talk. I just stole the name of your show.
I know the name of the show, Coffee Talk, man. It's basically a time to sit down and have a cup of coffee and get your mind right and start having some thoughts and put some stuff out there. So I love it. Yeah, absolutely. I got my cup here as always.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Anyways, and I'm smoking here, which is rude.
No, okay, do what you got to do.
I was like a little stressed out because for those that are not familiar with Liquid Shano, he is a mega superstar in TikTok. And I say that because, okay, so welcome Shane, Nikita, and he's basically one of the, I randomly, as I always do, I stumble upon people that I would have never known, like your content. I would have never known your content until Jeremy had his avatar made by Renegade Squirrel.
Yep.
She commissioned the avatar for him, and it was wonderful. He was excited, and so he posted, and I was like, "Oh, cool! So let me check out, your podcast." And I think you were on your Coffee Talk or your morning, because he does have morning. You have a morning routine, where everybody jumps in and says hello, good morning.
Yep.
And then I listened to you for like maybe 20, 30 minutes, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. Not only are you an artist, not only are you a podcaster, I had to like find out about you, and then for those that don't know, well, tell them what you do, because I don't want to like steal your thunder as I'm already doing. So
No, it's all right. No. Yeah, the overall premise of everything I'm trying to do on social media or any other platforms that I'm on, I have my own podcast. I've got my own blog. I've got my own everything else across the board. It all started off with me trying to be able to lose weight, to be honest with you. That's where it all started. And I was trying to be able to lose weight and try to be able to log my journey of how it was going and where I was at with it, how I was feeling, the mental side of it. And so throughout all the blog entries that I was doing, I gained a following through the blog. And then all of a sudden, some folks had heard me talk and they all said, "Hey, you got a great voice. You got to do something like a podcast or radio or something to be able to go out there." I said, "All right." So I went down to the local shop and picked up a microphone and picked up a little throughway point. I said, "I'm going to go home and I'm going to start recording podcasts." So it really started to take off on the podcast. And I was like, wow, this is really great, because I was able to touch more people and be able to reach out to more people and help them. And then other social media platforms came around, but then TikTok came around. It was really interesting because I was mostly doing it. I have a 15-year-old son that was on this app, and I wanted to be able to keep an eye on him and see what's he looking at over there? What's happening,
what's going on with you and TikTok? What's it?
Yes, exactly. Why are you on there all the time doing this all the time? And I'm like, what is this? So I popped on there, and then all of a sudden what I realized is that just like the podcast, I have an outreach for people that I can reach to be able to share positivity, to share art, to be able to encourage people to be creative, to be the best versions of themselves. It just really started to understand the concept of, wait a minute, this is a platform that's not just about dances and not just about any kind of things like that. It's about connection and community and meeting people and really becoming a larger community and making the world seem so much smaller because we can reach out to other people. I have friends on here on this app from anywhere from Zimbabwe to all the way from UK to New Zealand, all these places that it's just amazing to me that we can connect on a personal level And that's kind of where I'm at with it. And so TikTok, what I've done is I've started to do my artwork to raise money to pay forward to other people, especially during this COVID time frame and during these quarantine time frames, to be able to give back to others that have been impacted by in some small fashion. But it's been such a life changer for me and such a positive resource and a reference for all kinds of other people that are joining in during those coffees in the morning. So it's been a wild ride so far, but amazing so far.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a controversy about what you're doing,
Yeah.
and I knew it was coming. And because before you, there was another person that was doing that. It was somebody that was coming up to random strangers, like somebody that was outside of a Target playing violin, and she gave him all this money, $1,000, I think it was. And he was so thrilled, he didn't know what to say, and it was really moving, right? So
Yeah.
I felt compelled to give something to this person that was doing this, right? But I didn't do it because I was like, well, is it really, like,
Right.
and then even my boyfriend was like, yeah, don't believe everything you see on TikTok, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like, I'm like, well, what if it's real? What if it's true? What if it's really, she's doing it? And then when you offer your services, because you're offering your services, right? So I
Correct.
figured I can pay $25 for an avatar,
Mm-hmm.
which is 2 Starbucks or three, wait, maybe more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm getting something and I'm giving something back, right?
Yeah.
And what you're doing is you're doing it for free and putting that towards tipping somebody off, tipping somebody,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But then you got the backlash.
I did. Yeah. I think what happens is that there's a couple of situations that happen with it, right? So what I figured out was it's all, to be honest with you, social media and all this stuff is all a big psychological experiment anyway, to be honest with you. It's all about, how do we connect with other people in a way that we can, create an audience or create somebody that's there to be able to connect with me on a level. So to your point, I saw a lot of the users doing that. They were just taking money in their Venmo and they were just going and paying it forward, which is a great concept and I love it. But I've always believed wholeheartedly, and this is just the fabric of who I am and who my dad taught me to be and whatever else is, you have to work to be able to make something happen, right? You got to be able to work. So what I always felt was if somebody wants to donate money to the cause, I need to work for that money. I can't just do it for free. I don't want just to be a through away or be able to whatever, or maybe even like, I don't really know if all that money's going. So when I did that, I started to earn the money to be able to give back to other people. So I'll tell you a little bit that has been an eye opener for me. So I got the money and then I would go pay it forward. The backlash that I caught is that people were like, why are you recording this? Why, if it's kindness just because you want to be able to give to another person, why aren't you just giving that money to them and just making it a gift and going forward? You're trying to get followers, you're trying to get likes, you're trying to do whatever. And so what's interesting about it was because one of the videos caught on the trending page and on For You page and really went viral, over 1 million views on it on the Starbucks video. All these people really started to come out of the woodworks and go, well, how do you gain 10,000 followers just because of this thing? I'm not getting that. So I was like, wow, man, this is really interesting that the psychological experiment part of it is
Right.
they're jealous of the fact that it was seen, not really looking at the concept of what was being done. I was very clear to speak on the video to say, hey, listen, I'm an artist. I raise money. I earned this money and I want to pay it forward to other folks to be able to do so. And the other part of it was I have to record it because there's so many people that were donating to this that need to know that their money's going to the place that it's going to. You know what I mean? Like I promised that I would do it to the folks in the service industry or volunteering or different stuff that I'm trying to do. I'm going to pay it forward and I want them to know that that service is rendered. You know what I mean? So it's work for work for work. Well, interesting enough, in the whole entire scheme of it, I did a podcast about it. I talked about it, my own thought process about it. And I really had a couple friends reach out to me and say, listen, at the end of the day, you had 6,000 comments on that Starbucks post. 5,800 of those comments were just amazing. People just inspired, and all kinds of people saying, "I'm going to go pay it forward now, and I'm going to give back to other people." 200 people or whatever that had their negative moments to be able to say something.
Yeah.
It really did make a major impact on the grand scheme of it, but I was hurt by it because I was like, how could anybody say anything bad about it? You know what I mean? So that was the backlash that I felt, but now I feel as if I'm making a positive impact and moving things forward and continuing to do, the vision of what I wanted is not only am I going to be able to pay it forward money wise, but now I've given somebody an avatar that they feel good about themselves. They feel strong. They feel beautiful. They're like, I have this image that I have of myself that I haven't felt in 20 years, or
Yeah.
some older folks that were like, take away my wrinkles. And I'm like, okay, yeah, absolutely. I'll make it look nice or whatever, and they feel great about themselves. So not only am I paying it forward with money, but
Yeah.
I'm making people feel special when I make the avatar to their favorite colors and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So it's a pay it forward both ways. And it's been nothing but positive and wonderful. And I'm going to keep going and keep doing it.
Yeah. It's essentially funny because you actually do raise a good point that it's a social experiment is what it
It
is.
is.
And maybe it was intentional, or maybe, you know what I mean, like how did they pick this one video that you made to make it go viral
Right.
and invite all these people to make comments, and obviously you're gonna get the good and the bad.
Right.
um and I'm like you. We are artists, and we're creators, and we take it to heart. We take it to
We
heart
do.
because we work hard at what we're doing. I'm not doing anything. I'm not paying it forward in that sense.
Yep.
Uh, but I'm creating content, and so yeah, you know what I mean. So, but yeah, I mean, we our feelings are hurt,
Mm-hmm.
and that takes a long time to process. Why am I getting all this backlash? I'm trying to just do a good deed.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's social. When we say it's a social experiment, it's almost like a look at what human nature is all about and what society's about, right? We're in such a weird place in the world, especially in the United States of America, where we're just in this place where we see all this venom and all this hatred and all this stuff that we're seeing all around us. And I'm like, we're just trying to make a positive influence or a positive impact in the world that's really kind of crazy right now. So the way I feel about it is, I feel that people push back on that because they're comfortable parked in the place of negativity, place of all this stuff where they're just like, yep, let's go, whatever. And that positive side of it, you have to work to get there, and you have to put some energy into it. And I don't think people really want to do that a lot of times. Not everybody, but human nature is, we go down the road of being negative. We maybe we'll talk bad about somebody, or we'll do something, or we'll get in that little pool of negativity. And I'm like, man, you got to make the change to be able to continue to push forward. One positive impact, or one positive thing that you can do can change, can make ripples to be able to change things. But we got to do it, though. We have to do it. And you know what? The backlash, I'm okay with it because I'm going to keep moving forward. My wife said to me, you got a vision, keep going. You know what I mean?
Right. You have a vision because, yeah, you're right. I mean, who hasn't been criticized
Mm-hmm.
for something they did that was phenomenal? I'm sure Oprah Winfrey get all this backlash, and well, now every single person, every single actor in Hollywood
Right.
uh, is getting backlash for just being an actor and celebrities. But
Right.
besides of what they do, Kanye West. Not, I'm just gonna. I can keep going.
Right.
However, point is, everybody will have something to say about it.
Right.
So what are you gonna do
Exactly. You
about
got
it?
to navigate through what that noise looks like. If you're passionate enough about the things you're doing, like yourself, if you're a creator and you're doing blog talks and you're really working towards it, your intention probably is the fact that if I can share a story, or I can share a snippet with something that I'm doing, or that inspires me, or something that I'm moving with, that's going to help somebody else that's out there, that's going to look at it and go, wow, that's inspirational to me. I want to try to do that, or I can do that. People always say, it's about, whether it's with followers or listens, like in the podcast world, we're graded kind of on how many downloads and how many views and how many listens and those kind of things. And which is unfortunate, because to be honest with you, if I have 5 people that listen to my podcast, and all 5 of those people are inspired, I've changed 5 lives for the better. And that's, in my world, that's a
Yep. And it's
success. Right. And that's perfect for me because I go, hey man, I helped those people get through a pretty tough time, or I inspired them to do something better. Okay, good. So there's the ripple effect. We're making small little deposits to be able to move it forward. And we just got to keep going. Us creators can't beat ourselves up. We got to keep moving forward and be the people that we're meant to be, you know?
And yeah, speaking of creators, right? So there's a creator that you did his avatar, Jeremy, right?
Yep.
Jackson Jerry is the name of the TikTok. And so he got backlash because they were saying to him, because he does a lot of lip syncing um, to other people's creations.
Yep.
And so he got backlash because they were saying, "Well, you're not original because you're just copying somebody else's work,
Right.
um, and you're getting all these likes and everything, and all these followers because of them, not because you're on artistry." So he took it to heart because first of all, he's got leukemia, or
Right.
I don't want to say the wrong thing, but he's going through a lot right now.
Yep.
Um, and he just took it to heart. He's actually right now he's away from TikTok for a little bit.
Taking a break.
Yeah, and
Well, and he's amazing, to be honest with you. I've been in his lives. He's got great energy. He's a super, super fun guy, a positive guy. His story matters. And I feel like even outside of where you take a break, because sometimes you do have to take a mental break sometimes on
yeah,
the social media aspect, because you just do. You have the right size. You got to clear it out. You know, do the mental check or whatever. But I will tell you what I try to tell a lot of the folks that catch backlash like that, like he did, and there's many super amazing creative people that do lip syncing of other TikTokers. But to be honest with you, that's what this platform allows you to do. You can celebrate somebody else's work and lip sync it, have fun with it, do whatever it is. And okay, so if people like it and they follow you for that, then so be it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you're just having fun. You're inspired by somebody else. You go
yeah,
through and you have fun with it, and you're trying to share your own craft of what you're doing. And if you're good at it, you're super. I'm always inspired by people that are really, really good at nailing those lip syncs and nailing everything and the mannerisms and everything. I'm like, that's like an actor in itself. That's
it is.
great, you know?
It's a craft.
Right. And so I celebrated that. And I think I wish that people could hear the fact that it does have a negative effect when you just spread your opinions of negativity so quickly with somebody that puts their heart and their soul into the things that they're doing. You have no idea of what they're going through and how they're at and where they're at with anything. So watch what you say sometimes, because you never know the negative impact you can have on somebody. So I hope that he comes back soon, because if he's taking a break, he's pretty special at the things that he does.
I mean, he's going through a lot, and his son is going through a lot as well, and then he's going through dialysis, and I'm like, you don't know people, you
Right.
don't know what you go, what anybody
Correct.
else. They may be on the verge of a breakdown and maybe on the ledge. Just be mindful of your words, right, and your
Right.
intentions. Say something, and yeah.
And be
Anyways,
kind. Be kind. Listen, how hard is it for you to turn? You'll see a lot of my posts on TikTok and a lot of the coffees that I do. It literally is about one word or one action in the morning when you wake up. When you first wake up, if you wake up in a negative mood, start getting into the gratitude space, right? What am I thankful for? What do I actually have? Why am I so negative? Why am I so whatever? And it's hard. The mental side of it's always difficult, and I get it. But if you can wake up in the morning and start your day off with one positive thought to set the rest of your day off, then work on one act of kindness throughout the day. That's all it takes. It just takes a quick phone call, a quick FaceTime, a quick text, something to send a heart to somebody. Say, I'm thinking about you, or I love you, or whatever. Take the time to be able to do that with somebody else. You never know. It's so easy to do, yet hard to do for people, because we just get in this place of we're going through the motions of daily life. We're going through all this different stuff. Stop in the moment and invest in somebody else versus detracting from them. Let's go. You know what I mean? Let's lift people up.
yeah. And there's one word that stood out to me earlier, and I'm like, adversity,
Hmm.
right? And you had a good point in I listened to your episode about that and how your wife went through what she went through,
Right.
and she had to learn the hard way that she was not, her lifestyle and your lifestyle had to change, right?
Right.
And through those moments of difficulty, like where everybody's going through nowadays,
Yep.
we have to learn something, right? We have to learn something from 2020. And okay, so there was a thing. I was in an open mic, and they asked the questions like, name something that you were doing now that you weren't doing in 2019. And it took me a little bit, and I started coming up with things, and I'm like, I have a podcast.
Hmm.
I just learned from you to do it on to do it on the platforms, the Encore platforms. Then I'm writing something else. I'm writing another production, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing this. That I wasn't able to do it because I didn't have no time last year
Correct.
to do it because I was so
Hmm.
busy driving, Uber, and all that. It's amazing the stuff
Well,
that
you
I'm
took
doing.
inventory. You took inventory of all of a sudden
Yeah,
going, wow, you know what? I didn't realize what I'm actually doing in a positive realm of the things that I'm doing. I'm the same way. So, like I said, with TikTok, with different video. So my podcast has always been me and a microphone. That's it. Just me and a microphone. I just blog it out. I talk about it. Have a conversation. But until this year, I finally started doing interviews. I started to actually bring people on board and having interviews and rapping and feeling all these different things around it. And I was like, wow, that's a whole new realm of podcasting because it's a totally different interview to do with somebody than it is to do by yourself, right?
yeah,
Now, sometimes some people think the interview is easier because the other person can fill in the blanks, but it's not because you got to push pull. You got to be able to fill in. If you got somebody that's sitting there when you're doing an interview and they're like this, yep, right? You're like, oh no, no, no. You're gonna try to bring all that energy out with them, right? So
yeah,
what I realized is that I have challenged myself to be the best version of me and continue to move forward without me even knowing that I was doing it. But inventory is something that I talk about on the podcast all the time. You have to take inventory of the actual things that you're doing and be proud of the things that you're doing because we just brush it under the rug because it's just normal life and we're just doing whatever we're doing and we keep grinding. That's amazing that you're doing all those things that you weren't doing last year that
yeah.
you are doing this year. That's amazing. That's incredible.
And I couldn't do it because you know how it is in California and LA, or you're in Maine, right?
Yep.
Anywhere in the U.S., people are just running like chickens
Hmm.
without heads, um, just moving. You know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
no, and it's like a hamster wheel.
That's it. Right.
There's no point. There's no point on, you know what I mean? So I realized when that hamster wheel stopped, I'm like, wait a minute. I can be
Right.
doing this. I can be doing that. I was just in the wheel and I wasn't even aware of it.
Right. Yeah, I call it in my world, it's the golden handcuffs, right? The golden handcuffs is you're in a corporate world, you're in a corporate society, whatever your job you're doing, whatever you're grinding with, whether you're an Uber driver, whether you're an area manager for a cell phone company, whatever it is you're doing, we're in the motions of every day, just doing what we're just accepting to be the norm without ever really trying to challenge our thought process to be able to move that a different direction or whatever, because we get in the grind and, it pays the bills, it's doing whatever. It's everything. But Java John's Roasting is another user on TikTok that I'm a big fan of. And he gave up everything to start up his coffee business. And he pretty much bought a roaster for like $10,000, went out there and started selling, and actually through TikTok made all kinds of orders because of his energy and the positivity that he brought to the table. But that was his story. His story was, I gave up everything because I knew that I could make a bigger impact and do what I'm passionate about and do what I love. And he threw a six-figure job away to go and do this job right here. It comes with ups and downs. It's anxiety. Am I placing the orders? Am I doing whatever? But I think that's inspirational to me because it's caused us to look inward to be able to say, what am I really doing? Am I in that hamster? Like, really? Am I just going to spin that wheel? Or do I do something that's going to inspire me and move me forward, in a positive light? So I think that that's something important to share.
Yeah. So what was one thing or name one thing? I'm sure there's more than one thing that that you're doing now that you couldn't do, that you were not doing last year.
Yeah. So I think it's a second level amount of social media for me. So for me, I was on all these social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and all this different stuff, but I was very light. I wasn't going in there as much as I probably could have to share content, to share positivity, to share blogs and all that stuff. And so one of the things that I found was with quarantine and them making me work from home on stuff, I had a lot more time to do stuff. So that first of all, it's my social media aspect of it. For me to be able to take it to that next level of really trying to be able to gain a new audience and really move things forward. And the podcast has been really getting a lot of listens because of TikTok and all that stuff. So it's great. The second thing that I've been able to do is be a better dad for my son, because literally there's more time. We have more time on our hands to be able to do whatever. He's home, I'm home. I can connect with him. We connect on a personal level. We can, have more conversations and really kind of dig in versus a 15-year-old that wants nothing to do with his dad most of the time because they're out doing stuff with their friends.
Right.
Now we're at a place where we can connect on a better level and I can be there for him a lot more. And my wife, our family atmosphere. What's funny is I was just having this conversation the other day about how all these people are realizing that they actually have to have relationships with the people that they're with because they're no longer chips in the night. Now they have to be in close quarters.
Yeah.
And they're forcing themselves to have conversations and forcing themselves
Whether
to
you
dig
like
in.
it or not. Whether you like it or not. Stuck. We're stuck.
Exactly, you're stuck. You got to have
more.
I got to talk to you. Wait a second, what? No, I'm just kidding. So it's true though. It's true, and so what I love about it is intentionally I'm looking back on that now while I'm in it to go when we go back into when maybe society opens up a little bit more, or maybe we're back into a little bit more of that rat race. I'm going to be intentional to make sure I'm doing exactly what I'm doing right now, to take the time necessary to carve it out and put it on my calendar to say my son's important, my wife's important, I'm important, my mind's important, my everything that I'm doing is important to keep moving that forward. Because like you said a minute ago, if we don't learn something from this whole entire pandemic internally and world-wise and everything else, then we're just failing. Like seriously, we're a society that's doomed to fail. We need to continue to learn and grow and move forward,
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm going to learn a new skill in a few months. I'm going to be an interpreter.
Nice.
Yeah, which is something I would have never thought of being. Like if it was 2019, I would have been because I was doing. Anyway, my story's long, and we don't have that much time left. But you know what I mean? Like coming from the corporate world, and now I was able to do theater. I was able to do Uber. I was getting my severance pay and all that. And so I took that time to appreciate what I can do and what I want to do. And once I learned to do that, now I'm like, you can't stop me because I'm going to do what I love to do. And
I love it.
I don't have to get paid for podcasts. I don't care for my money or coins or whatever I get here because I'm just doing it for fun,
Right.
Like you're doing it for fun too.
Yeah, it wasn't until very recently that I started to, with the podcast, started to create a Patreon page, which is a page where people can actually, that have been listeners since the beginning, that want to donate to the show. They're always asking, how can I help and whatever else. And so I'm always like, okay, you know what? I do need new equipment. I'd like better microphones. I'd like better stuff, some sound equipment. There's a podcast studio down the road that I'd like to pay for, like the membership there and stuff like that. So I started the Patreon page, and it was just amazing that I have like 16 people that are in there that donate monthly to the podcast now. And I was like blown away that these people were like, it's okay. We want to help because you've helped us so much with words that you say or being inspirational. That was humbling to me because I was like, wow, I've never asked for a dime for any of this. And then all of a sudden they asked for it and I put it out there, and 16 people every month go, here's a monthly charge that I want to give to you. So of course I've sent them like CoffeeTalk mugs, and I sent them shirts, and I sent them all kinds of stuff to be able to just help them out with that aspect of it. But it's just one of those things of, I was floored by the fact that people would be inspired by me, this big old oaf up in Maine right now, to be able to have a conversation with people to help them. But it matters. And like you said, I went into it with the right mindset, and we can keep moving forward. If one day I can get paid at a level where I can pay my bills and do whatever, doing what I love, 100%, I'm on board with that. Let's go, right?
Right. I haven't even cashed my Zoom money. My TikTok money that I have because I have.
Yeah, I have it sitting in there. Yeah, I have it sitting in there. For me, I am gonna cash it out in December though. I'm gonna do something for like a family in need or something like that during the holidays. Maybe go take that money, go down to some of the layaway places down at Walmart or whatever else to be able to pay off some layaways for folks that are trying to buy toys for their kids and things like that or whatever. I'm figuring out how I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take that money and I'm gonna pay it forward because with with all the visibility that I've been getting with TikTok, that funds have been building up. You know what I mean? So I'm like, keep every gift that you give, I'm going to give back to somebody around Christmas time to be able to help out
So
somebody.
it feels good to, it feels good for me because I always I've requested like two already, but I'm gonna request more because I can always think of people that I enjoy watching their TikToks
Yeah,
that make up my day fun and make up my day more entertaining. And I actually don't even watch TV as much anymore, which is great.
right.
And hey, let me give you an avatar, and it's gonna look great on your profile. And
Yeah,
Michaela already enjoys it. My boyfriend doesn't really want to do it because he doesn't want
no.
to have face on TikTok.
Yeah, there's some people
But
that
he
don't.
likes
They're like,
it.
no thanks, no thanks.
Yeah. I just did it because I knew the money was gonna go somewhere where somebody needed the money,
Yeah,
and it's not expecting the money. And I enjoy the videos that you send, the updates. It's like, yeah, oh, okay,
it's
they seem
awesome.
cool.
That's awesome. Thanks, appreciate that.
But anyways, we have a few minutes, a couple minutes to go. So Liquid Shano, guys, you have to follow him. Click below. I don't know where you're gonna watch this on YouTube or whatever. I'm gonna post all the information from and there and all in that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, yeah. Wherever you post it, I'll share it on mine too, guys. And you can find me anywhere on any of the podcasting platforms. I'm on Coffee Talk with Liquid Shano 1973. I'm everywhere on the platforms. Whatever you're listening to podcasts on right now, whether it's Spotify, iTunes, anywhere, I'm on all the platforms. I'm on TikTok with just Liquid Shano and all the other platforms as well. If you guys want to, you go to my profile, you'll be able to see everywhere where I'm at too. So we can link up and connect and keep spreading some positivity in the world. But I appreciate you having me on today. It's been great.
And I will gladly be on your show one day. I hope.
Absolutely. Right. I look at.
Share.
I'm working in this interview space. It's pretty cool. I'm just now starting to get in the swing of things with it. So.
Yeah. It takes time to learn how to not interrupt the person
Right.
and which is hard to do. We're like, oh
It is
wait,
when you're
what
talking.
was that?
No. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, you didn't see this coming. So thanks for tuning in, and please follow, like, subscribe, and do your thing. But thanks again, Shane. It was wonderful to see you.
No problem. Thanks so much, guys. Talk later.
We are go for liftoff in T minus 30.
Hit the record button.
Gosh, that's swell.
It's a low blog talk radio.